Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming to this talk. I'm Łukasz Wiśniewski. And today I would like to talk to you about my side project. The twist is it's a side project of a side project. So my original side project is an app called Translamore, which I wrote for myself to help me learn languages. I wanted to be able to read some article in German, mark the words I don't know, and then have some exercises based on the content I read. And you know, the more you learn, the better you get, or maybe except if it's German. So I had an app like with a single person user base, and I decided I can like double that digit if I translate the app to other languages, because if I translated it in Polish, then my mom could use it. So I used auto-translate, and I quickly noticed not everything is quite on the spot. So what do I do with German? I'm not really proficient at it, but luckily there are a bunch of Germans around, so maybe I could ask help. And I know there are like a lot of solutions, but this is about doing stuff yourself. So I decided to have a side project inside my side project. And I decided to put a little button in my app that when you press it, you can edit the strings and have them applied right away. We don't have much time, so I'll try to push through. Let's get to hacking. This is the standard way of doing strings in Flutter. You have app localizations, you read from context, and you get some value. We will need to be able to tell when a given string is visible on the screen, and also we want to be able to change that string. Doing some research, I come across a library called Slang. Slang is open source package that helps you generate type-safe translations, supports JSON, YML, ARP, and I think CSV. Shout out here to Tien, who wrote this library. He also wrote LocalSend, which is airdrop equivalent powered by Flutter and Rust. Back to Slang, it has a lot of features. Also extensive documentation, and I think about 4 different ways to set it up inside your app. The piece of documentation that attracted me was translation overrides, because this is what I needed. And here you can see you can pick YML as like source for your translations, and provide that YML with key value, and all that happens at runtime. So without much thinking, I thought like this is a great library. I want to migrate my app to it. So what do? I have app localizations, so I need to change them to something like translations of context, hello world. Here's a little tip that you can use. So you can define alias on app localizations, and then define extension method using that alias. This way, you'll get more streamlined version of like accessing strings. I think that's nicer than the standard way, but also like what is more powerful here, you hide dependency on the library behind the extension method. And I was using this pattern in my app, so for me, the translation only meant changing this in one place where my extension method was defined, and I was good to go. So we solved the first issue, which is being able to change strings at runtime. Then we still have other problem, how can we tell when a given string is on the screen? To address that, I made a PR to Slang library, and it got merged. So I'm gonna quickly talk how we can spy on users, what we see. So we need to look what Slang is generating. And here you can see the generated piece of Dart file for hello world. There is this $meta element, and that's the interesting bit. That's the class that will help us get the tracking. Here my contribution was literally this getOverride method, and I can use this getOverride method now in my extended class, where I'll be able to track the string that are being accessed. The last piece of puzzle is putting it into widgets tree. So we define a widget with a child. The child is the widget we want to observe. Then we need to implement build method, which will give us the right context. From that context, we can get current translations and translations meta. We replace that meta with our spy meta, and we put it all back together down the widget tree. And thanks to power of providers, this is transparent to child widget, but we now can tell what is happening there. And now, like the editor part. So probably you have inside your app a page. Wrap that page with translation scope widget, and then we can display editor. I made the editor to have editor qubit, which will handle the editing logic, and we show the editor as some model using the context, because from that the page context, because having that context, we have all the keys that are in that page. Looking at bigger picture, you have probably more than one page, so make sure every page is wrapped with translation scope widget. And usually there is my app something, which is material or Cupertino. So I've put additional qubit on top of everything. And that base qubit provides a state of all translations for the entire app. The base qubit will load those translations whenever you open the app, and whenever something changes in editor, you need to save those changes and save them to local persistence and send them to backend. For the editor part, you open it, close rather quickly. So whenever you open, you have the keys from the context. You get the latest value of the strings from the base. You let user translator to change the translations within your app, and then you put it all back. And yeah, don't forget to put some entry point to the editor, like this button here. So these slides are written using FlutterDeck, so I was able to show the editor here. And let's see if this works. Yeah, so pretty neat, right? However, well, this is great for quick edits. If you give it to a translator, they will be like, what is this? Do you expect me to run around your app like, I don't know, some mental person trying to find all the strings? Like there are some very rare Pokemons. I mean, we have like these cards. We need to find them all. Yeah, so this UI is not optimal. We need to do better. So I iterated on my idea by taking inspiration from others. So this is probably like the top solution out there, which Localizely, they have a lot of strings, they have a list of strings, and they show you sometimes a screenshot, which is visual context for the translator. My other source of inspiration was Widgetbook. I think someone has a talk later today. They are a tool for building design systems, developing widgets in the isolation. And imagine like these two had a romantic encounter and an open source package was born. Hear me out. So it's a storyboard for your strings. So we take the editor we have developed, we let it have all the keys, and whenever you try to edit one of the keys, we will show a widget preview for the key that you are editing, so that translator has visual context and they can see right away what is happening. These previews, unfortunately, don't come for free. So I solved it by defining a string story. In a string story, you can say which keys are covered. Then you provide a widget builder and some human-readable title. And this is what this editor looks like. So here you can see I already changed one of the strings. I did not define a story for this one. So, I'm like lazy, also didn't see a point in writing all the stories for these sites. But I wrote for a code snippet. So here you can see you can change it and see the change right away. You can look for things, and there is also the developer option, which runs string story coverage. So for all the string stories you've defined, it will check if that story is correctly implemented. Last but not least, as a translator, you can submit your translations. The red here is for developer to, like, these are the stories you have not implemented, but as a translator, you can see your changes. You can submit your changes, so you provide your details. You agree that your translations will be used in the app. Voila. So the app is sending a JSON diff to backend. The backend part is up to you. I used Firebase storage because it's free and great for JSON. And you get that JSON back, put it back to your project file. The string story package has a tool that can apply it easily. And then you ship your app again, maybe add some new translations, and then translators can then again see if something changed, improve, like this cycle is complete. We're almost done. So I need to say about some issues. This library is version 0.0.2. I made it mainly because this stock was accepted. Yeah, be warned, but like I think it's cool. Sorry. There's a lot of boilerplate. So first you need to migrate your app to Slang, then make it work with string story. Finally, if you want to have complete storyboard, there will be a lot of stories to be written depending on how many strings you have. There is a fair amount of code generation, and that's because type-safe translations are code generated. And to build on top of that, you need more code generation. And I mentioned Slang is powerful library. I've only used a subset to build this tool. So you might be limited in the usage of slang, but it's open source, so you can always improve it. That's it, that's all. Here you can find all the links for everything that's in these slides, including the slides. Yeah, not sure if we have time for questions, but yeah.